What's up, guys? We got another picks and predictions video today. This is for tomorrow's games, and we have a fantastic slate of games tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be an extremely fun day for college basketball. We're going to see probably a ton of good games, probably a lot of upsets. So let's jump into it. All right, so to start out, we have Texas at BYU. This says all the makings to be a great game. Texas is playing their best basketball right now. Coming off a 15-point road win at Oklahoma, which we know how hard it is to get road wins in college basketball this season, especially in the Big 12, where top to bottom the league is fantastic. So they're coming off a big-time win, a couple of good wins actually for Texas. They're playing their best ball right now. And BYU is coming off two close losses to ranked teams. They lose by 7 to Houston the other night. But they were tied up at 68 with like 2 minutes to go. They ended up losing by 7. Then they blew a lead against Texas Tech in that one. But both teams are playing pretty good right now. And so the spread is at BYU is 8-point favorites coming in this game tomorrow. And ESPN gives them about 80% chance to win. And so there's a few things though that's going against Texas in this game. And the first thing is, well, the first thing, they're on the road, and that's always tough, especially in the Big 12. Marriott Center is a very hard place to play. That's the first thing. But game specifically is that Texas is 224th nationally defending the three, and BYU is 68th in percentage, and they're second in three-pointers made per game. So this is, Texas doesn't defend the three well, and BYU hits more threes than almost anyone in college basketball. And as far as Power 5 goes, they're number one out of any Power 5 school, and they're number one by quite a bit actually. And so it's gonna be really hard for Texas to defend the three. We saw in that Texas-Baylor game a week or two, that have been last Saturday, we saw Texas sneak out a win there. That was a big win for them. But Baylor was able to shoot the ball extremely well themselves. Texas shot the ball fantastic, and that's what won them the game, but they were allowing a fantastic shooting Baylor team to get any shot they wanted. And so it took an extremely fantastic shooting night for them to beat Baylor in that game. BYU, on the flip side, is fantastic at defending the three. And so I don't think Texas is going to be able to get as good of looks as they got against Baylor. And that's going to be the difference. And they're not going to be able to sneak this one out, I don't believe. I think BYU is going to win this game. And I think they have a really good shot to cover the 8-point spread. I'm not going to go as far to say they're going to cover the spread. I think it's going to be close to that mark, but I definitely think BYU wins. I just don't think Texas defends the three well enough against a fantastic shooting team. But it's going to be fun because I think even with BYU coming off two close losses, they beat Iowa State right before that. I think both these teams are playing really good basketball right now. So I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch tomorrow. All right, moving on to Arizona at Oregon. We just saw Arizona last night took a shocking loss to Oregon State. They were 18-point favorites, I believe. They were on the road, of course, which always makes things a little trickier, but still kind of an inexcusable loss for Arizona. But props to Jordan Pope, and he dropped 31 on them, hit the buzzer beater three. That was awesome. And then it's always fun to see a court storming. So that was pretty sweet. But now Arizona, they have they faced the other Oregon's school here, and now they're at Oregon. So they're in Eugene after being in Corvallis, and they're 3.5-point favorites. 72% chance ESPN gives Arizona to win this game. And so obviously it was kind of an inexcusable loss for Arizona. That Arizona team is too talented to lose that game. I think they're going to bounce back, no problems. I think there's just too much talent on the team. Pelle Larsson's playing fantastic. He's one of my favorite players in the country. He's been great lately. Kylan Boswell got into foul trouble yesterday, which that was definitely a problem for Arizona. He as long as he's not in foul trouble, he most likely won't be. That'll be big for them. I just don't see them losing back-to-back. I don't see them going 0-2 in this Oregon road trip that they're on right now. I just don't see it. I think they're gonna come back. They're gonna find a way, and I think they're gonna cover the spread. I think they're gonna win this one by at least 4 or more. I think they cover the spread. So Arizona's team is too talented to go 0-2 in this road trip, and I think that game last night was a wake-up call for them. So let's go Arizona to cover the spread. Now we got UNC at Florida State. This game is really interesting. This game is really interesting because both teams have been great in ACC play. North Carolina is 8-0, and Florida State is 6-2. A shocking 6-2 because they were really bad earlier in the year. I don't think anybody was expecting Florida State to be 6-2 right now after the way they started the year. But a really interesting fact in going into this game is, I didn't see this game earlier in the year, but Florida State lost on the road at UNC only by 8 points, and that was in the midst of Florida State playing really bad basketball. Now North Carolina wasn't playing as good in December as they are now either, but Florida State was playing really bad, losing to teams that they shouldn't have been, and barely beating teams that they definitely should have beat by a lot more. And so I think that's that right there, that fact, and just the way that Florida State's been playing lately leads me to believe that they can stay within the spread. I really think Florida State's going to cover here. I think they have a really good shot to cover here. UNC's playing really good basketball, but Florida State is always a pretty tough place to play. They get a pretty good crowd typically. And so the way Florida State's playing right now, mixed with how they played against North Carolina earlier in the year, even though, keeping it's only an 8-point loss when they weren't playing nearly as good as they are now. And Florida State just has a ton of depth that North Carolina doesn't have as much of. North Carolina's not, they have decent depth, but give me Florida State here to cover. I feel pretty confident in that one. And now to wrap up for the last game of the video, we got Texas Tech at Oklahoma. Number 11 Oklahoma. I forgot to put that in the video. But this is a super, super evenly matched game. This one was tough for me to think, where do we go? All my opinions on it. I do really like this Oklahoma team. They're just such a good balanced team. I like Porter Moser coach teams. He's a fantastic coach. Texas Tech's been playing really good. You could probably argue Texas Tech's probably been a little more consistent of a team this year than Oklahoma has, even though Oklahoma's been quite consistent too. Both these teams only have 3 and 4 losses respectively. I like Oklahoma here though. They're at home. We know how hard it is to steal a win on the road. Texas was able to do that at Oklahoma the other day. I don't think Oklahoma's going to lose back-to-back here. I think Porter Moser is not going to let Pop Isaacs go crazy on him like BYU allowed a week ago in that comeback win from Texas Tech. I think Porter Moser's going to drop a game plan. He's going to be able to limit Pop Isaacs. He's going to be able to limit any free open looks that he's been able to get lately, because Isaacs has been really good for Texas Tech. I think he's going to make it a lot harder on him. I think Oklahoma's going to drop a game plan. They're going to stymie Texas Tech. I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game, probably in the 60s, I'm thinking here. But give me Oklahoma to win and also cover the 3.5-point spread. So I think they'll just barely cover. I think they're going to win like a 5-6 point game here. I think it's going to be close. But Oklahoma, I don't see them losing back-to-back, and they're at home. So let's go Oklahoma to cover the spread. That'll be it for this video. Tomorrow's a great slate of games. So, comment what games you guys are looking forward to the most, or if you see these going differently than I do. It's good to be back. It's been a couple weeks since we had the last video. I'm going to get a bracketology video as well soon. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.